Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to Borderlands 3. I hope you guys are all doing well. In this video we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff, starting with the apparent nerfs that have come to the game, particularly around Jakobs Weapons and particularly Flak because he loves Jakobs Weapons, as well as my builds as a result of that, and a whole bunch of YouTube comments that I've got in the last 48 hours because y'all are losing your minds over this. But don't stress, this video will set everything straight. I'll show you guys clips of every build that I have just so you guys chill. If you're trying to make one of my builds, etc., or you're trying to work out if they're still viable, trust me, they're all totally fine. And I honestly didn't notice the difference until a video was made that explained that apparently they were nerfed. So don't stress. But yeah, essentially, I'm not 100% sure who actually found this, but the video I watched and was referred to via multiple YouTube comments was essentially Moxie, who is a YouTuber and streamer. If you guys don't know who they are, I'm sure most of you do, made a video that explained that a bunch of cool weapons, mostly Jakobs weapons, and things like the complex root, the hyper focus, got a secret nerf as of the hotfix of the patch last week or the week before, essentially meaning to the simplest narrowed down way, because I don't know Borderlands mass, I just watched the video, and from my understanding, essentially, we use the King's Call as an example. Whenever it shoots the original shot, there is one projectile, and if you have ASC damage, ASC elemental damage, like extra fire 50% and extra radiation 50% after your action skill has ended, it will then put a second projectile next to that bullet, which will be your ASC extra damage there. The nerf essentially took away that extra projectile, which essentially means, from what was explained, it won't actually get that extra damage anymore, which kind of sounds like it sucks. It sounds like it would be a super difficult nerf to deal with. But don't stress, I'm going to show so many clips in this video of every build that I have to basically show you guys that everything is ace. Okay, so now you guys know generally what is going on. We're going to start spamming some clips on screen so you guys can see that Fly is not bad. In fact, Fly is good. Fly is totally fine, and Flak builds are beautiful, just as they were before this nerf of sorts, in huge quotation marks. Don't stress about the word nerf. To start with, we're going to start showing Bangstick Flak, which confused me a little bit because a bunch of people said that in the comment sections that the Bangstick Flak doesn't work. I jumped on there straight away, actually a little worried myself, as if it was, you know, it'd been taken away from us, because Bangstick Flak is by far it was my original Flak build. It is by far my most viewed Flak build, and I knew if it got nerfed, that'd be hella sad for me. So I jumped back on there. It turns out it's actually totally fine in the exact same place it was last time I left it. Still deletes bosses, still deletes every single boss in the game. By the way, if you guys don't know what this build is, or any other build that I'm going to show in this video, I'm going to have them all linked down below in the description if you guys want to check them out, or of course just feel free to check out the channel. There is a whole bunch of Flak builds already up there, and I can assure you that every single one of them are totally fine, and there is more on the way. So yeah, as you can see, Bangstick Flak, it's the easiest starter Flak build, and I've had it since the very start of the game at like level 50. Pretty sure it's my most popular build video on YouTube, like several times in a row for each level cap, because it is just a really easy starter build for new people to Flak, to just delete bosses, get the, you know, more gear so you can keep farming, get different kinds of varieties in your builds, etc. Because it's just one weapon, or two if you want to use the crit swapping ability, but all you really need is the Bangstick, and it deletes everything. And it's just a purple weapon. So if you guys want to check out that one, again, link down below. As you can see, it's totally fine, deletes everything, and is a walk in the park. Moving on to Alpha Flak, this one is my favorite build, it is my main build, and I have used it a bunch in the most recent videos I have made on the dedicated drop locations that have been changed. And a whole bunch of people were saying, is this Alpha Flak post nerf, etc., is it still okay? As you can see in those videos, and I'm showing you guys again in these videos, Alpha Flak is ace. Absolutely totally fine. I've been using this one for the last week or two since the patch came out, and have been streaming, making videos, etc. with this build, and I didn't actually notice any at all difference until that video was made and the comments came in and said that it had been nerfed. And I went and particularly compared the clips, and there is the slightest of difference in only the King's Call. That's the only one I have actually noticed in. The first one, a bunch of people were saying that the Stagecoach no longer was worth using. As you can see on screen, I'll have a bunch of clips showing the Stagecoach absolutely one-shotting, one-dinking, destroying every enemy in Venus, and taking out some bosses as well. It's very, very effective in that. The Dakota as well, the purple shotgun from DLC 3, that one is amazing. Still one dinks a lot of enemies, gets a lot of chain shots going, and takes out bosses as well. The Garcia shotgun, which is a personal favorite of mine. I have not managed to get myself Mayhem 10 level 61 with a good anoint yet, because chunk stop is a little bit of a pain to farm. But if you guys also like that one, I can assure you it is totally fine. I do have a weaker one, and it still holds its own. Of course, isn't as crazy as these guys with the perfect rolls on them, but it still does the job. So if I finally manage to get a perfect roll, I will then be able to show you guys later on stream or in another video that it is totally fine. Also, the Skull Masher as well, the Jakobs sniper rifle, which is my particular favorite sniper rifle in the game, from DLC 2, has multi-projectiles, super fast fire rate, is still amazing, and by the way, don't have to stress about that one either. Still destroys in mobbing situations and bossing situations as well, which is great because I absolutely love that thing. So yeah, no stress about that one. By the way, I'm not going to bother showing all the weapons that have been hit by this apparent nerf because I don't use all the weapons in my builds. I'm just going to show you guys the ones that I recommend for my builds prior to this new update, so you guys know whether or not these builds are still totally fine. If you want to use these weapons as your main weapons, they are all still fine. The complex root sniper rifle from DLC 3 is probably the strongest sniper rifle in the game. That one has apparently been affected by this as well, and I think I can see a slight difference. I have a whole build centered around just the complex root, and I also use it often in my FL4K build as well, and I can see the slight difference. Rather than you just being super lazy and still being able to one-shot everything, for example the Ruiner, you can destroy that guy without really putting in any effort. It's more like now you have to actually make sure you're being a little bit more accurate and getting all those projectiles to hit, and it'll still do the same amount of damage. So it's very slight. It's not worth worrying about. And I think now we're up to the final weapon that has been talked about or affected, etc. Within my main builds is the King's Call. It's actually one of my favorite weapons in the game, full stop. Definitely my favorite pistol. It's such a cool weapon, how it works and does a ton of damage. And it still does a ton of damage. I'm going to have clips on screen of me destroying Genevieve with it. I do not have a bunch of amazing rolls because, of course, as you probably know if you've ever farmed it, the King/Queen's Call is super difficult to get with the good elemental you want and the anointments you want. So I think the only one we have that is a good roll is a corrosive one with consecutive hits, which isn't fantastic. 200% ASA would be amazing with it, or 100% ASC would be amazing with it, but consecutive hits is still a decent anointment, and as you can see, it absolutely rocks Genevieve. And yeah, hopefully all these clips have shown you guys that these builds are still totally fine. Fly is good, don't stress. And yeah, these snaps really haven't hit these weapons that hard. It's totally fine. Stagecoach is still absolutely rocking. Honestly, was using that so much last night at stream and was having a lot of fun. If you guys want to check out any of these builds, they'll be linked down below if you haven't already seen them, or again, just check them out on the channel if you would like. Gamma Flak wasn't really discussed in this video. It's one of my other main builds. That one wasn't hit at all because, of course, like any of these builds, again, we don't really depend on Jakobs weapons. There are a whole bunch of other weapons you can use, like the Monarch is definitely still the strongest weapon for bossing / mobbing. The Light Show is just a mini Monarch. That one's still amazing. The Hell Shock / the Beacon, fantastic. The Maggie wasn't hit by this at all apparently, so that one's still rocking as hard as it has always been doing. Things like the Cutsman, all those still totally rock. You don't actually have to depend on Jakobs weapons, so if you don't want to, you don't have to use them in these builds. But I assume as most Flak mains do love a Jakobs weapon, I just thought I'd make this quick video so you guys just got to essentially see, rather than just a whole bunch of information, I should just show a bunch of clips so you guys could see that they are still totally fun. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out, or if you found it enjoyable, feel free to smash subscribe button down below. That'd be awesome. If you guys want to smash the like button, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the video, the weapons, the builds, etc., anything like that. And if you guys want to check us out over on Twitch, I live stream pretty much every day just after I post my YouTube videos. That's linked down below, or just search CodyMcQ on Twitch. We usually hang out, make builds like this, find dedicated drops, farm some things, and just have good times with chat. And yeah, on that, hope you guys have a fantastic day. I shall see you guys in the next video and I'll live stream. Till then, adios.